Knott as Halloween Haunt is known today for its scare actors dressed as demonic clowns that are slowly melting away from your nightmares. But before this was the home of one of the most wholesome haunts, a nightly ritual that for many years acted like a church service to the assembled monsters. Freaks and geeks, a moment of community for those who felt different. And at its center was the sermon given by Mistress of the Dark herself, Elvira, hand-chosen by Knott's Berry Farm to be the queen of their Halloween event. But unlike most theme park entertainment, there was no puppetry or animatronics involved. This was a live woman commanding the stage and connecting with the crowd. So how did she do it? Why has she been gone for so long, and why are people still talking about her today? We re-gone? Nah, take a trip back to the golden era of Elvira's legendary live performances at Knott's Halloween Haunt. Now this is a topic that could honestly fill up a book, or possibly an entire series of books. The amount of material on the internet alone is shockingly vast for a show that only ran for 17 seasons, but luckily we've done a lot of reading and watching, so you don't have to. Allow me to introduce myself. I am a historian specializing in all things dark and macabre. From haunted houses to Hollywood, I bring you the stories that have shaped our modern monsters. Join me every week for all new episodes, and if you enjoy these stories, please consider supporting us. It helps us grow and keeps the lights on here at the studio. This is a story that takes place in the late 1990s to the early 2000s. Sort of the last days of the boom period for theme parks, where everything was bigger, bolder, and more ambitious. For Knott's Berry Farm, this meant opening a new amphitheater within their existing ghost town area, built on the former site of the Butterfield Stagecoach and the Shootin' Arcade. The venue was ready to open for the 1998 season, featuring its first headliner, a certain Mistress of the Dark. The style of show they wanted to mount was a variety show. This meant Elvira would be sharing the stage with other acts, such as comedians, magicians, and musical performers. For Knott's, though, this would also mean having full reign over the stage design and costumes. They wanted something truly spectacular, and they were willing to go all out. Her shows became known for their over-the-top theatrical spectacle, with the entire cast dressed in custom-made black gowns, with silver stars along the bottom resembling a night sky. Topping off the look was a huge towering beehive wig. As she emerged from behind a wall of fog, she would hold her arms out wide in a welcoming gesture to the screaming crowd below. There was always a fog machine on stage with her, and during some shows, even more fog filling the amphitheater. Sometimes the fog would get so thick that you can barely see the next person on stage. There was also a skeleton backup dancer crew of 5 men in matching outfits to help her perform some elaborate dance numbers. These men were all taller than her, so when they were dancing together, it would almost seem like Elvira was dancing with skeletons. The show started with her coming out on a raised platform singing Witchcraft before descending to the main stage and then running through a handful of stand-up comedy bits that usually consisted of roasting recent horror remakes and making fun of modern dating. She would do some crowd work, asking people questions and poking fun at them while seeming genuinely kind and funny. If you were called up on stage, though, this might not have been the greatest honor, as she was unafraid to embarrass you a little bit for the sake of the show. The rest of the show would consist of musical numbers, including signature songs like I Need a Doctor, Gonna Raise Hell, and Love at First Fright. It was a mix of original material recorded specifically for the show and cover versions of songs like Man-Eater and Black Magic Woman. You would think that with all of this going on, it would be hard to keep track of, but somehow it all worked, mostly because of just how magnetic Elvira is as a performer. She commanded the stage with confidence and ease. She had jokes written down on cue cards to make sure she didn't forget anything, but would often ad-lib and break character to connect with the audience. After the show, she would sign autographs and pose for pictures, showing her dedication to interacting with the fans. Elvira was handpicked by Knott's Berry Farm president Ken Kiarkis to be the queen of their Halloween event, replacing longtime host Boris Karloff. According to Kiarkis, he wanted someone who could carry the torch from his events of the past, someone with charisma and charm. With Elvira, he knew he found that person. As time went on, the caliber of performers they were able to book for the variety show format improved, bringing bigger names like Dweezil Zappa and Alice Cooper. But as the cost of producing the show increased, it eventually led to the demise of the variety show format and the end of Elvira's run after the 2014 season. Since then, the amphitheater has become the home of Knott's annual Scary Farm. A haunted house walk through that now completely replaces the original event. However, despite the show being gone for nearly a decade now, people are still talking about it, which begs the question, what makes her shows so special? For many people, it was the feeling of community and belonging. For so many people, being different could be scary, and it was nice to find a place where you could be yourself and not feel judged. When you walked through those gates, you entered a world where it was okay to be a freak or monster or whatever else you wanted to be, and you were accepted for it. To put it simply, Elvira made everyone feel welcome, especially those who didn't feel welcome anywhere else. Some people felt like they found a second home at her shows. Even those who weren't monster fans loved the energy and excitement that came with her shows. Elvira was known for saying, "I want to see you scream," and she would often come. Offstage after the show to do photos and autographs for everyone in attendance. To her fans, she was more than just a TV personality. She was a friend, someone they could relate to, and someone who made them feel like they weren't alone. And the live shows allowed her to connect with her fans in a way that the television show never could. It was a chance to let loose and be yourself without fear of judgment. It was a chance to let go and scream at the top of your lungs without holding back. It was a chance to escape from the real world and enter a world of fantasy and fun. Sadly, this time has come to an end. The variety show is gone, but the memories remain. The legacy of her live shows will continue to live on in the hearts and minds of those who attended. It was a magical time that will never be forgotten. Today, the only way to see her is through reruns on the El Rey network or by attending one of her very few appearances. But sometimes in rare occasions, she graces us with her presence at various events throughout the year. It's a special moment when it happens, and one that should be cherished. It may have been years since she last performed on the Knott stage, but the impact she left behind is still felt today. Her legacy lives on through the people whose lives she touched and the memories she created. Under the Halloween sky, she will forever be the queen of Knott's Berry Farm. Thank you for joining me today. I hope you learned something new, and I hope you enjoyed the story. I know this topic could go on, and there is so much more that I could say. If you want to learn more, check the links in the description. Until next time, remember, the best horror is the kind that scares you the most.